Hunting Matthew Nichols is a 2024 Canadian horror film written and directed by Markian Tarasiuk and stars himself alongside Miranda McDougall and Ryan Alexander. It's a mockumentary, found footage style film that follows a film crew shooting a documentary about two missing teen boys that went mysteriously missing like 20 years back or something. And I get it, like that might sound generic to you, and maybe you thought the movie poster looked predictable, but I'm here to steer you in the right direction because this is, for me, this is the absolute hidden gem of the year so far. I'm kind of here to champion this, to be honest. So, quick funny story. I live like a mile and a half from my local Regal theater, and I go there all the time, like twice a week at least. And I pretty much try and see everything horror related, whether it's something I really want to see or something that I don't really want to see. If it's horror, I try to see it all. And this movie had already been playing here for I want to say 3-4 weeks, something like that. And I just completely overlooked it. I saw the poster. I just assumed it was some kind of true crime doc, which is cool, but not really always my type of thing. Might not really be something that would get me off the couch and out to the theater. And I actually had no idea until just a few days ago that this was an actual horror movie. So I gotta say, is it just me, or does the title and movie poster just absolutely not do this justice? Or am I an idiot? You can be honest. So anyways, the beginning tells the fairly unspectacular story of Matthew Nichols and his buddy Jordan. Two teen boys that went missing in 2001 out in the deep woods of Vancouver Island. So fast forward to 2023, and Matthew's sister Tara is making a documentary about Matthew's disappearance. Pretty much just as a way to find closure, for the first time in her life. And with her is filmmaker Markian, who's playing himself, and cameraman Ryan, who also plays himself. Or should I say fictionalized versions of themselves. So one thing that you learn about Matthew and Jordan is that they were playing around with amateur filmmaking, and they loved the Blair Witch Project. And then I started thinking that Tara actually kind of reminded me of Heather from Blair Witch, and I realized that this movie is a modern tribute to Blair Witch, which also had, one female and two men as the cast, all playing fictionalized versions of themselves. So I guess my one question, and it's unimportant, but it would be, why didn't Miranda McDougall just play herself also instead of Tara? I don't know. I'm sure there's a reason. Other than that, this made me so happy since the Blair Witch Project is one of my favorite movies of all time. And I'm just going to say this. The two Blair Witch, sequels did not do the original justice. I don't think many people will argue against that. And Hunting Matthew Nichols is the spiritual successor. And not just in spirit, because it actually achieves what those two, follow-ups didn't do, which was deliver that same level of dread. So this movie picks up that slack, and it delivers that dread. And it is pretty goddamn glorious. I'm actually going to stop talking about the story now, because I think I've said enough. Hopefully not too much. Now, to be honest, I think the first thing that I noticed about this movie is just how surprisingly solid the acting is, and especially for the mockumentary style. In my opinion, usually at best, actors overact, and at worst, it can be nearly unwatchable. And either way, it really takes you out of the story. And I was expecting that from the start. Miranda McDougall and Markian Tarasiuk both are standouts, but Miranda, I'd say, she's the lead here. She's the one with the most skin in the game, and I think her performance actually gets better as the film goes on. And Tara is, I found her pretty comparable to Mia from Shelby Oaks. And on that note, just about everyone that I mentioned this movie to instantly brought up Shelby Oaks. They were just instantly, that reminds me of Shelby Oaks, which is something I actually didn't really think about at first. I guess the plots are somewhat similar and both draw from, specific influences, but this movie is so much better than Shelby Oaks in every single way. Sorry, Stuckman. And on a budget of $275,000, mind you. I think that's 20% of the Shelby Oaks budget. So, Markian Tarasiuk is an experienced actor. I wasn't familiar with him before this, but this is his first directing project. And one of his biggest strengths here, one of his biggest talents, because he did also co-write this, was making the most out of that small budget. One of my favorite scenes just shows Tara watching a videotape, and you don't see it, you just see her face. You're looking at her from the point of the TV, and whatever she sees is so horrifying that she just mentally breaks down. That's just good, effective, smart filmmaking right there. And there's little to no CGI or special effects here, just an incredibly engaging story and genuine scares. Old school scares. The final scenes here will really surprise you, I think. They'll stay with you. And I hate to pick on this movie because I do like it so much, but I think at times the sound design could have been a little bit more creative. I also think the folk horror and occult elements might come across as cheesy to some people, or kind of half-assed, but and I would understand that, but for me it works. I just thought I had to give a little bit of criticism in there, but yeah, man, I'm giving Hunting Matthew Nichols 3 out of 4 stars. It seems like not a lot of people are talking about this yet, so I'd kind of like to change that. I don't think it's going to be playing in any theater for too much longer. So if this sounds interesting to you and you want to see it in the theater, you might only have a couple of days, but I'm sure you can catch it on streaming or something. Hopefully this gets a physical release because I will buy it day one. And if you like the Blair Witch Project like I do, definitely check this out because I think you will love it. Cheers, guys, and I'll see you at the multiplex. Subscribe right now, please.